who was it? I think it was Bruce Lee, right? He said something like, "I'm not afraid of the guy who knows 1,000 different punches or 1,000 different kicks. I'm afraid of the guy who does one kick 10,000 times." That's it. That's it. It's muscle memory. It's body body's natural reaction. That's the training, and getting, of course, getting stronger, faster. Of course, that's a part of it, but it's more of a strengthening of the mind. I want you to understand this. No matter what it is, it's the strengthening of the interior more so than the exterior. So yeah, gearing up for this big tournament. Found myself there. Gearing up for this big tournament, the East Coast Judo Championships. And I feel like, this is the one. This is the time. I feel like I'm ready. This is the one. It's going to happen at this big one. So I go, and I don't know if I had my brown belt or not. Look, ranks are really not that important. I'm not getting into that. That's not what I'm here to talk about. So there was a student in my class there, and I was on the mat. We're all warming up. All the competitors on the mat warming up. And they come over. Can you, warm up with me? Let's warm up together. So, no, I can't, because I had this thing, like, I didn't want to be thrown. I was focused. I was in a mental place, a very important place in my mind, inside me. And so I was like, no, I can't warm up with you. And, come on, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Don't throw me, right? That was my thing. Like, it was just a mental thing. Don't throw me. Okay, I won't throw you. Promise. You promise me. Don't throw me. Yeah, I promise. I won't. Okay. They start doing, kata moves on me. And all of a sudden, wham! They threw me. It was like the sound of me hitting the mat went through the whole, I think there was 3 mats. There was, a middle mat, another one in a huge building. And nobody was really throwing each other like that around, so it was like, wham! Went through the whole place. Everybody turns and looks. I was like, at that point, what are you going to do? What are you going to do at that point? I just went with it. So just like anytime, I get back up right away, sprang to my feet, and they're ready to go again. So, they go again, and wham! Again, threw me again, hard. Wham! Again and again and again, like 10 times or whatever. I just was broken down. It just broke me down Meant after the first one, I was out of my zone, gone. No way you're gonna get that back at that point. Out of my zone, gone. And they're having the opposite effect from this, you know, my fellow student. They're getting built up. It's building them up. Like their confidence is like exploding. And mine it's like the opposite effect. So I don't know, after 10 or maybe 20, I don't know. Finally, I don't know if I said it or they said it. Knowing me, I probably let them say it. I probably let them, I'm good. All right, I'm good, thanks. Thanks a lot. I'm good, I'm warmed up. I'm feeling good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you are feeling good. You know, and everybody's watching this go on, so it's a mental thing for everyone else too. You have to understand this. It's not just a personal mental thing, it's a mental thing for everyone there. So at this point, I can just imagine everyone is like, you know, this guy, meaning me, like, I'm looking meek and weak, you know, to those around. And my fellow dojo member is looking like they're like, you know, looking invincible at this point. Tournament begins. I was knocked out of my zone. It was another loss, guys. You know, another loss. Now this tournament only happens once a year. I had been training and building up for this, and felt like I was prepared. And they won. They took first. The person I warmed up took first. I'm still going to tournaments. I'm still trying to do my thing. Haven't won yet, not a single tournament. Now this is from grammar school to high school, like of freshman year. Sophomore, I think it was sophomore year. Sophomore year, I'm still going at it. I'm still going to swim practice. Now sophomore year, maybe I had completely graduated. At some point in high school, I completely graduated from the kids class. I was no longer, there was nothing really the kids class, the young adults class was going to do for me anymore. I was just basically at the point of that class, I was like the strongest student in the young adults class at that point. So I'm the one throwing everybody around. So it's not really doing anything for you if you're not being pushed, if you're not being challenged, if you're not falling down and getting back up. You ain't doing nothing for yourself. You ain't going nowhere if you ain't falling down and getting back up. So I'm just going to the adult class now. Now, I decided to throw wrestling into the mix because wrestling is very similar to judo. So wrestling was after school. So now I was going to swim practice in the morning. After school, I was doing wrestling practice. Now, wrestling practice, we had a really good wrestling team. And wrestling practice was brutal. It was long. I mean, I think it was like 2, 3, sometimes, I don't know, I want to say it was over 3 hours. That doesn't even sound right, but I think that's what it might have been. But it was like 2 hours at the least. And then I had practice at night. Okay, so practice in the morning, practice after school, practice at night. Unfortunately, what happened was, now this didn't last too long, unfortunately. I didn't stick it out long enough, like I should have. looking back on it now. But I stuck it out for a while. What happened was in the morning, my swim coach was like, "What's going on with you? Like you have like these lanes, and then like based on your strength, you're either first or last in the lane, and then one lane is stronger than there's the strongest lane and the next strongest lane, and based on how strong you are as a swimmer, right? So I'm in like the strong lane, but I'm at the end. It's like now I got to drop down to a weaker lane and be somewhere in the middle. My swim coach is like, "What's going on with you? Something's going on." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to wrestling practice. I'm dead, man. I'm wiped out, man." Well, you know, I don't know. You better do something about it. At nighttime, I went to judo, and my sensei, he was like, you know, I can't imitate the man. Just the best, you know, how you would imagine a Japanese sensei to be. Like, you know, there's kind of like a Miyagi mixed in there. You know, very short, quick, direct answers, you know. No beating around the bush type no nonsense type of way of talking. Um, Unlike me, obviously. Um, so he goes, you know, "What's going on?" Like, you know, not in those words, but like, "Those stand down, man." Like, what? You're acting like you're dead or something, like, you know. And I told him what was going on, and he's kind of like, "Well, you know, you're not. This isn't the." He's like, "You know, this isn't the greatest thing." I got the feeling of like he didn't say that, but it was just, you know, I was kind of like moping around in class. Anyway, it was a lot. It was a lot. And once again, unfortunately, I stopped wrestling practice, wrestling team. Unfortunately, I want to make that very clear. But what I noticed that happened after I stopped was I went from being in a slower lane in the middle to being in the fastest lane, and now I was first. I took first in the lane, and it happened right away. As soon as I stopped wrestling, it was like that wrestling experience, that practice, that exertion of extra force on me propelled me all of the sudden to a new level. And so I'm like, "You guys get behind me." Like, I'm first in the lane now at swim practice. And it's like I had a renewed, something happened, something kicked in. I had a renewed sense of drive. It's like I wanted something all of a sudden. And I had the energy to do it. And then at judo practice, you know, everyone seemed to notice, like, "What's going on with him? What happened to you?" Like, I'm like, "What? Like, you're not the same no more." I'm like, "Why?" You know, it's hard to realize yourself sometimes. But I'm doing better there. And you have to remember the adult class for judo. So I'm going to judo, and I'm like, what? So, you know, however you are between 9th grade and 12th grade, at judo, these individuals are 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. I would say the majority of people were probably between 30 and 45. That was the average age. So I'm there as a high schooler, practicing and competing with much older people, which was great. That's what you want. That's what you need. You need to be competing against those who are better than you. You want to get somewhere? That's what you need. That's what you want. You want your butt to be kicked around, no matter what it is. What sport, it doesn't matter. You want the people around you to be better. And you want the feeling of you want to be better. So you have to be better than the people who are better than you. Now you're going to get somewhere. Okay? Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, lost. Lost that huge tournament. Still going to tournaments. I'm still losing everything I go to. Now, the following year rolls around. Once again, I'm ready, man. I'm so mentally, East Coast Judo Championship is coming up again. It's that time. And I have myself in such a mental state at this point that I'm having dreams about being on the first place podium. I'm having dreams of accepting the trophy, the first place trophy, not the second place, not the third place, the first place. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm thinking about. That is literally all I'm thinking about. Now, your diet is involved. You're watching what you eat. I'm like watching my weight because it goes by weight class and age and rank. But I'm watching my weight. I'm trying to get myself at a certain weight so I can get in that class of people. Most fighting works this way. If you don't know, there's a lot of that involved. It's very important in fighting to get into a certain weight class. You want to be exactly at that weight without being over. That's going to give you the maximum benefit of the energy and the mass that you have. So I going to the tournament. Once again, the same person shows up. The same person shows up at the tournament among other students from my school. Same thing. I'm up on the mat, warming myself up. I'm like this. I can only see one thing. That's all I can see. I'm warm. They come up to me. Yeah, let's warm up. Will you warm up with me? No. No. I won't. Oh, come on. Blah, 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 blah. No, why? Why? Because last time I told you not to throw me. And what did you do? Oh, come on. You threw me. No. Oh, come on. Like there's something wrong with me, Like something's wrong with me. Like it's my fault. Yeah. Okay. Wasn't gonna make that mistake twice. I try not to make mistakes 3 times. I am often stupid enough to make the same mistake twice, but very rarely do I ever make the same mistake 3 times. I won, but up until that point, I don't think I ever had came in first. Never. I won. They lost, by the way, the person who asked me to warm up again. They lost horrifically. Didn't even place, just to further emphasize the mentalness of this. More important than that win is this, which is after that win, I never lost. So I never, I never lost after that. I won, and I tried to go to more tournaments after that. I tried to go to more tournaments than I've ever had before. And I just kept winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. After losing for, since grammar school. I also had gone to a few, I didn't mention this, I'd gone to a few judo camps, like during the summer for a few weeks at a time. They helped out a lot too. They were also, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the senseis who were in charge of those camps, but I know that they were also, happened to be Japanese. And I learned a lot at those camps too. I have a lot of interesting memories. Don't worry, maybe some other time. So, here comes the next year's East Coast Judo Championship. Here comes the next year's big tournament, The following year was the same. I won again in both divisions. So that was now 2 years in a row, plus no losses in between. And then I'm going on, and now it's a little bit, I'm not going to get into that. I don't get into, I'm not into, I don't know, tooting my own horn or whatever. I don't know what you guys want to call it. I'm not really, that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm going on, and I'm not losing. The point is, I'm not losing. I'm in a different mental place. And what it is the point of this is this unobtainium. I had gained this unobtainium. I had gained the will to win. I had gained the drive, the determination. I had persevered. You see? Do you see how all this long-windedness is now gotten somewhere? Do you understand? That's my story of obtaining those pieces of unobtainium. Of course, all those pieces: will, determination, drive, perseverance, discipline. Don't forget discipline. Cannot leave that out of this piece of the puzzle. All of those things bring you success, But I don't want to put success in the mix, because success is technically something that you could purchase. You could buy it, You can. It's in a very ugly way. I'm not going to get too much into it, but, you can pay people off. You can, for the win, Success, like if you equate success to a win, there's a lot of ways you can get a win. There's a lot of ways you can get something that you're searching, and you might see it as success, but that's not success, okay? Okay, guys, that's nowhere near success. The wicked and the disturbed and the evil mind will find ways to kind of circle around or take the easy path of success or to success. There is none. It's a hard road to success. It cannot be done without these pieces of unobtainium. Now, this is just my version of acquiring these things, and once again, I make this point because you cannot buy determination with money. You cannot buy your will with money. You cannot buy your discipline with money. You cannot buy your drive with anything. You cannot buy these things, and that's why they are of the utmost importance in life. The best things in life you cannot buy with money. Finally, coming to the conclusion of my story, um, whoever's still here at this point, thank you. Um, Thank you.